Well, welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Lee. And here we go, talking about how love is the act of letting go. I bet you never heard that before. Love is the act of letting go, because when we let go, we free ourselves of judgment and we're able to accept life as it is. And when we can accept life as it is, we're free to go about living our unique, authentic self. And we allow ourselves, by letting go of the past, about other people's expectations, we allow ourselves to let the divine spark, that desire that is within us, to come out. And we get to express it and experience it. And then we let it go. And then we express and experience, and we let it go. And we express and experience, let it go. Do you see? That's the cycle of life. If you don't let go, you're holding on to something. And when you're holding on to something, you're judging it. You're judging it to be good or bad. And whenever you're in judgment, there's no love. Do you get that? Love is the complete acceptance of what is. It's the state of equanimity, where you see life equanimously. In other words, perfect balance. Love is not a romantic thing. Love is the ability to see life through the eyes of the divine. And the divine only sees perfect balance. The divine only knows peace. For the divine to know anything other than that, it could not be infinite. Therefore, it would not be divine. So when I'm talking about divine, I'm not talking about an anthropomorphic God, a being, a super being. I'm talking about everything that is, everything that is not, everything that is seen, unseen, known, unknown, and unknowable. How do you define that? You can't. So this idea that we call God, we have a lot of people, a lot of religions, what they do is they've taken the old way of describing God as a being, because back in the day, people couldn't begin to wrap their minds around a concept that there's consciousness. And consciousness is everywhere, present all the time. And that consciousness creates everything out of itself. And that's who we are. We are individualized points of consciousness within the all consciousness. And we have been given perfect freedom to experience everything and anything that we desire based on what we choose to believe in, which is where we're putting our focus. And keep in mind, your beliefs limit you. Even though we have them, even though we know they create. That's why I'm one that I'm always adjusting my beliefs. I'm always saying, okay, that belief served me here. Now, can I expand that belief to greater? Yeah, I can. Because here's the thing about being an expression of the infinite. There's the opportunity for infinite expression in every area of life. So there's a freedom in that. So the freedom to experience an infinite expression in life means we have to let go of limiting expectations. We've got to let go of holding on to things. We've got to realize that every moment is a moment of rebirth, and it can be an expansive rebirth. It does not have to be a contractive rebirth. Does that make sense? I lost something. Well, you only lost something if you were attached to it. If you're not attached to something, you're not going to care. You're not going to see it as a loss. So then we go into the question of that letting go is the process of being unattached. What are you attached to? Well, I'm attached to who my partner was yesterday. Not a good attachment. That means your partner, through your eyes, can't be more than what they were yesterday in your relationship with them. Do you see what I'm getting at? letting go is actually the only way to deepen relationships with yourself, with others, with life, with the infinite. You can't hold on to the past and expect to grow. You're locked into whatever that vibration of the past is for you. It could be an event that happened when you're 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. It could be an event that happened. And when you're holding on to it, that energy that event was keeps you locked into a specific vibration, which means you are not open to receive greater than that. You see, it is the vibration that we emit that causes our energy to experience life. That's why the Buddha said that attachment is a source of all suffering. And if you follow that through, attachment is the source of all of our suffering because we're now being denied our freedom. And our freedom is the one underlying value that every human being on the planet shares. Within us, there is a divine spark that knows that it is unique and it has perfect freedom to experience anything and everything in life. But if you're holding on to the past, that divine spark isn't able to go out there, isn't able to draw to you those new experiences, those new people. Or maybe it's old people that have been around you, but you're not able to see the greater part of them and have a greater experience with them. So I know you're out there. I see that McBride and Zoe and Jean and Johanna have checked in. Let me know if you're out there. Let me know if you've got questions. It's a great thing. Good morning, Laura. Here's the other thing. This Sunday service that I'm doing online, I actually took about 20 questions from the community worldwide, and I'm going to answer those questions from a science of mind perspective. I'm going to give you my perception of those questions. And this way, as you know, when I talk, I'm not asking you to believe a word I say. I'm asking you to take it within and question it. And if it works for you, if you can prove it for yourself, then you own it. I'm not saying I know how to fix you. I don't know what's right for you. I'm only giving you questions because it's through questions that we can let go. Question like, why am I holding on to that? Here's a great one. So I'm in my 50th year of marriage, right? Married to the same woman 50 years. If I held on to the image of Jean when she was 20, 21, when we were first married, and I compare her now to that image, am I loving or am I judging? Am I setting an unrealistic expectation for her? Am I setting an unrealistic expectation for me? You see, I have to let go of the past. I have let go of the images I've created. Lori, I love your questions. How do you help someone accept their past and release it? Move past the past. Well, you can't unless they ask for help or support. You cannot help someone. They have to want and help themselves. You can support them as they do it. You can let them know that you're available. But if they don't want to move past the past, there ain't not a darn thing you can do about it. Because guess what? They've been given the freedom to create their life. And if they're choosing to hold on, if they're choosing to not let go, that's their path. And so what's so interesting is we want to fix everyone. We want to make everyone's life better. And the longer I've been in this teaching role of spirituality, I've come to understand that everyone has the power to change if they choose it. And no one can do the change for them. No one can motivate them, because you can try to motivate them and they may do it for a little while, but if it's not them making the change, they're going to regress and fall back. They're going to regress and fall back. That's really, something that demonstrates itself when you're dealing with people who have addictions. Until that person with the addiction is ready to let it go, nothing's going to change them. You can beg, you can plead, you can ask, you can throw all the consequences you want at them. But if they don't have a desire to let go, if they don't see that that addiction is putting them in a prison, that they're no longer free, they're no longer self-loving, until they can see it, nothing changes. I know that's not the answer you're looking for, but it's the only answer I've got. With all the experience that I've had witnessing people, you can't change them. You can support them. You can be there for them. You can be an example for them, but that's the most. Your job today is not to worry about freeing them. Your job is freeing yourself of the attachment that you need to help someone move past their past. You see what I just did? Yeah, Lotus, you are filling a void. And that's not necessarily a good thing. If you've been in a relationship for 7 years, then that tells me if that relationship ended, that while you were in that relationship, you probably were subordinating yourself or being judgmental in that relationship. And what it meant to me is that there wasn't enough self-love, because the amount of self-love you have is the amount of love you attract from someone else. So my advice to you is you need to dedicate the next year to self-love. You need to dedicate the next year of discovering what love is and how to love yourself. Because if you don't, you're going to attract a very similar experience that you just left, because you have a void, because you feel lonely. Let me see. I wrote this down earlier. This is perfect. To feel lonely is a choice. Did you hear that? Can you be comfortable being by yourself? That's a great question. Can you be comfortable in the stillness? Can you be comfortable in the unknown? I would highly recommend, Lotus, that you get the book, The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. That book is all about self-love. Master that book. It's only maybe 120 pages, or no, it's 120, 130 pages. Very easy to read. I'd have written a book on self-love, but this is as good as it gets. I would spend the next year, I would say this is the year of Lotus self-love. And everyone else out there, I'm telling you the same thing. Until you can love yourself, you have nothing to give to anyone else. So with that, be free, my little butterflies. I have no attachment to you. I have no desire for you other than whatever your greatest desire for yourself is. So with that, I say to you, make this your best day ever, because only you can. Love you because I accept you just like you are. Until tomorrow, aloha.